All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you today. And the first thing I want to talk about, quite unfortunate, Cryptopia exchange closes indefinitely as liquidation investigation starts. So they are now insolvent. I'd like to imagine the way it goes. They got back into the office after the police had opened it back up, and we're like, this isn't good. It was a lot of funds, and apparently they have capitulated, thrown in the towel, etc. The Cryptopia exchange closed once again with a message replacing the trading website posted this Wednesday. This time, the lockup of wallets and trading is indefinite, with no timeline for reopening while a liquidation investigation lasts. The Cryptopia lockup followed a brief period where the exchange opened Bitcoin and Litecoin wallets for withdrawal, but other wallets remained locked despite not having being affected by the hack. The move angered the digital asset community for losing assets that were not stolen and for generating doubts that Cryptopia had no plans to return the funds. Additionally, the exchange was a point of access for relatively obscure digital assets with lively communities like Linda and Electronium were widely affected. So, again, they opened up exchange for Bitcoin and Litecoin for withdrawal, and they didn't allow any other ones to withdraw. And really the only wallets that were affected, if I recall, were Ethereum, ERC20 tokens, etc. So they allowed some withdrawals, but other ones not, and even if it wasn't part of the hack. So very interesting why they did that. So as an alternative to the Cryptopia listings, Next Exchange suggested it may add assets that were formerly represented on the New Zealand exchange. So Next Exchange using a nice, a very poor event to be like, hey, we'll add those coins. Too bad they're kind of already now locked up on Cryptopia exchange, and nobody's going to have many coins to actually put on Next anyway. But good try, Next. Really taking nice opportunity there. Very sharkish, very lawyerish, you know, like ambulance chasing kind of deal. Good job, Next. The decision to close down the exchange and hand over control of funds to a liquidator also generated accusations of a form of an exit scam. Cryptopia was in the process of moving funds to safe wallets, and the expectations were that the market would at least allow users to take their funds off the exchange. The even worse offense was that Cryptopia had, in fact, opened deposits and encouraged users to send funds to the new addresses. So that's when they stopped the old addresses and told everybody, hey, like, you should stop putting them and put them in these new addresses so that they're not being hacked, because people were still mining to those hacked ERC20 token addresses and still just having everything drained on a daily basis. This caused even larger direct losses in comparison to the hack, which took away an unknown sum larger compared to the hack. The liquidation procedure and long-term investigation were somewhat unexpected and followed the decision of Cryptopia to enter maintenance on April 26th. It's always maintenance. I love that. It's always maintenance. Binance, we're going to go down for an extended maintenance. We got hacked for 7,000. Nice hash. We're going to go down for some unscheduled maintenance here. Day later, yeah, we're just still in unscheduled maintenance. Everything is just fine. Day later, we lost $62 million in Bitcoin. So, I mean, you know, it happens, right? So it's always maintenance, and then like Cryptopia enters maintenance, and then they're like, we're not going to reopen. Okay, just say that in the begin with. But okay, I like how that's just the new go-to for exchanges, you know, in case they got something wrong. There's like, yeah, tell them it's maintenance. Moving on to the next article. So again, before I move on to the next article, sooner or later here, there may be signups to get your tokens and coins from Cryptopia in the future when the liquidation goes through. You might not be able to get everything back. Some coins you might not be able to get back at all, but we'll have to see how that works out in the future. Maybe they'll make just Cryptopia sell everything and then give you back the money, or sell everything and just get it all back in BTC, something like that. Who knows? But keep an eye on that. I will keep an eye on that as well, if you had funds on Cryptopia, because eventually there will probably be some kind of sign-up list where you can, you know, request what you were getting back, some kind of class action suit or something. So Bitcoin now a more popular Google search term than Donald Trump. Hey, that's good for Bitcoin, because whenever Bitcoin is at the top of Bitcoin searches, well, prices are really on the rise. So it's no secret that public interest in Bitcoin and everything related rises as BTC price moves. Yeah, as a YouTuber too. Hey, the price is rising. Welcome, subscribers, and welcome, viewers. Oh, when the price goes, I'll see you next bull run. I know how that is. People are naturally curious about what's causing the Bitcoin price. Currently at $7,770, was as high as about $8,300 on certain exchanges for a little while, but to skyrocket. They also want to know what Bitcoin is and whether it's a good time to hodl, buy, or sell. Bitcoin's recent rally over 8K has indeed started seeing more people Googling to find out currently the number of searches is the highest since mid-December 2018. Moreover, this number is projected to reach levels not since the peak, of 2017. So we might even go above 2017 levels. But here's Bitcoin versus Donald Trump. And Bitcoin's doing better than the President of the United States. Good job, Bitcoin. Wow. That should have been in the white paper, right? The Bitcoin white paper, reading that back in 2008, when it's just before it comes out. You're like, what is this digital cash? And you're reading it, and like, one day it will trend on Google higher than the President of the United States. And you're like, nah, no way. Why would that happen? Cut to 10 years later. I guess it is. So top 10 countries looking up Bitcoin: Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, Netherlands, Austria. I said that right this time. Last time I know I said Australia. I was a geographer in college. I know the difference, but come on, it was just a slip, and I don't wear my glasses when I do these. So Switzerland, Singapore, Slovenia, Australia, and Germany. And where are people Googling Bitcoin in the United States? The top 10 states are Hawaii. What? Hawaii is not the top 10 of anything in the United States, except for maybe tourism, maybe at best. So Hawaii really interested in Bitcoin. That's actually quite surprising. Nevada, California, Washington, New York, Utah, Colorado, New Jersey, D.C., and Alaska. Interesting. So with Bitcoin going way up, that just means tons of people are Googling it. Tons of new people trying to get in, tons of people wondering what's going on, tons of bullish news all over the internet right now, which is just getting more and more people to be buying in at the moment and starting their Bitcoin lifestyles. So moving on to the next article. Now, mind you, this article is a Bitcoin.com article, and I always have to start off because of my horrible bias, which I do apologize for in advance. But Bitcoin.com, you'd figure, wow, Bitcoin.com, that must be a great place to go read about Bitcoin. Actually, no, it's not. It's a terrible place. It's run by Bitcoin Cash owners. So, yeah, Bitcoin.com. Right. So is the BTC Reddit. Just BTC, not Bitcoin Reddit, but BTC Reddit, also ran by Bitcoin Cash shills. So it's, quite misleading. But let's go into it. So Satoshi Nakamoto could be criminal mastermind Paul LeRoux. Let's check it out. So the climate versus right lawsuit unfolding in Florida courts has been filled with misdirection, red herrings, mistruths, forgeries, bizarre theories, often floated by Craig Wright. So the Craig Wright's motion for protective order was recently filed with heavy redaction because Wright was supposedly a well-founded fear that these criminals and associates would seek retribution if they learned of his involvement in their apprehension and incarceration. Sure. So someone forgot to redact one of the corresponding footnotes, however, enabling a sharp-eyed sleuth to identify the master criminal in question, Paul LeRoux, the 46-year-old cartel boss, is a character as flamboyant as Wright, but cut from a very different cloth. Readers may already be familiar with LeRoux's life story, which surfaced in a 7-part series on Atavist and subsequent book titled The Mastermind. He was a brilliant programmer and a vicious cartel boss who became a prized U.S. government asset. It's now been suggested that Paul LeRoux may be Satoshi Nakamoto, and that Craig Wright is in possession of encrypted hard drives containing LeRoux's multi-billion-dollar stash of Bitcoin. It's a crazy theory, and yet on closer inspection, there's a prima facie case for Bitcoin's mastermind being criminal mastermind LeRoux. All the French/Latin in this one, I got nothing. So if I'm saying it wrong, you get the point. So on his Wikipedia page, the very same page which escaped redaction in the Kleiman vs. Wright case, notes Paul Calder LeRoux is a former programmer, former criminal cartel boss, and informant to the U.S. Drug DEA. He created E4M, an open source Windows disk encryption software program in 1999, and he's a suspect creator of the open source TrueCrypt. Then it drops a bomb. LaRue is currently in U.S. custody for ordering the assassination of 6 people. If any screenwriters mulling a Satoshi Nakamoto movie are searching for inspiration, they just got a huge shot at it with a career that's included logging, precious metals, mining, gold smuggling, land deals, etc. LaRue is a one-man movie waiting to happen, and that's before the Bitcoin connection is thrown into the mix. And one of many passports LaRue owned, he goes by the Satoshi-like name of Solatshi. That's just the beginning of the curious coincidences. Solatshi. A Daily Mail article, which also slipped through the redactor's net, leaving a trace of the URL visible in document 187, cited at the outset, calls LaRue a real-life Bond villain behind a cocaine and gun empire spanning 4 continents who's turned super snitch, and quotes U.S. agents as calling him a very bad guy. So who knows? More just interesting stuff. As the anonymous who posted on 4chan's message board May 12th after spotting LaRue's name in the right case postulated Bitcoin was a project of an evil genius. Paul Solatshi Calder LaRue, he intended it simply for the purpose of money laundering. Unfortunately, soon he went quiet with the Satoshi identity. He was captured by law enforcement. He's going to spend the rest of his life rotting in a jail cell. So, interesting. Just interesting to think how, like, every article and every, that tries to point out a new person, it kind of is a little bit interesting. Now, is this Satoshi Nakamoto? I have no idea. But, Here's the thing I like to talk about from time to time. Now, we don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, so I think everybody that thinks about him, of course, we have to create our own person in our head. You might believe it's Craig Wright. You might believe it was Hal Finney. You might believe it was this guy. You might believe it was this, that, or the other person. Or you might just have your own person in your mind. In the same way when you're driving to work every day, you hear that radio host, and you don't know what they look like, but you put it what it looks like in your head, and then you look at them online, and you're like, wow, that looks nothing like I imagine that person looks. And so that's kind of like Satoshi. If we actually found out who Satoshi was, we would actually look at his back history. Maybe it was somebody like this who just created it from money laundering. Now, nobody probably wants to believe that, and no, I'm not necessarily believing or disbelieving. But, depending on who created Bitcoin, if it was Craig Wright who created Bitcoin, let's just say, just for fun, I know it's silly, but would that change Bitcoin for you? I think it would for a lot of people. At first, you think this altruistic person who just wants to get away from the banks and help the people and make our own money, right? Like, we imagine this altruistic, angelic-like person, but I think only somebody with some, cypherpunk, kind of attitude would actually make Bitcoin at the same time. If it was Craig Wright, it would kind of change. You'd be like, wow, he's actually kind of a D-bag, right? That created this. Or if it was him, LaRue here, it'd be like, well, this guy was an outright criminal that created Bitcoin. That's really crazy. Like, who would have thought? So I think when we find out who Satoshi Nakamoto is one of these days, it will come out. Maybe never, but I'm thinking, sooner than later, it will end up coming out. Then everybody's going to investigate the person's back life. Like, why did he create Bitcoin? What does this person do? Like, is he a felon? Was he ever arrested? Like, is he a really good guy? Is he actually really a bad guy? And I think it will change the nature of Bitcoin a little bit, or at least the way you think about it sometimes. So moving on, Tether has been ordered to freeze transfers to Bitfinex by New York Supreme Court. Ruh-roh. So a New York judge ordered a crypto exchange Bitfinex and its affiliated stablecoin issuer Tether to turn over documentation about a loan in a line of credit Tether provided to Bitfinex. Judge Joel Cohen of the Supreme Court echoed comments from a preliminary hearing held last week in an opinion published late Thursday, ordering Bitfinex and Tether execs and employees to stop loaning Tether's reserves to Bitfinex, along a number of stipulations during the ongoing investigation. Specifically, the judge ordered Tether cannot loan any assets to Bitfinex or other parties, except in the normal course of conducting its business. Isn't that what they do, though? Just trading Bitcoin to Tether? Like, what does that mean? That one needs fixed a little bit, in my opinion. Next, Tether cannot distribute any funds from its reserves to executives, employees, or other individuals, except for payroll or normal contractor, consultant, or vendor payments. Seems like you could get around these like pretty easy. Be like, that was a normal consultant or vendor payment. Like, we hired a consultant for 900 million Tether. What do you mean? Like, we had to pay him 900 million Tether. That was his cost, right, in Panama. Neither Bitfinex nor Tether are allowed to modify in any documents asked for the NYG's original subpoenas. The injunction will expire in 90 days. So Tether getting hit again with that little ban hammer by the NYAG. Yeah, bad Tether. So moving on to coin market cap. So we'll see what comes out of that. We're at 243 billion market cap. We've gone down just a little bit. You can see most things in the red. We did have kind of a high, 8,300 Bitcoin. We had like 275 or something dollar Ethereum. We had like 105 or 106 dollar Litecoin, and now we're sort of feeling that sell off from the top. And it may keep going. We may be in a bull market here, like the start of it. And whenever I see these dips, a lot of times I'll see people's like sentiment on Reddits or even in my live streams or something like that. That like, oh, well, so much for the bull run. But I mean, you have to think about, we moved up $3,000+ in like 30-day period, and you don't think there's going to be a $300 or $400 sell-off from time to time. I think is a little naive. So yeah, we're going to see these sell-offs from time to time. They are not a big deal at the moment, not that I can see. But I think there's a lot of things to be bullish about this year, 2019. And 2018, we all remember 2018. Like, if you actually sit and think about it right now, what was there something to be bullish about in 2018? I'll give you a second. Exactly. Exactly. There just wasn't much. I think at the end of 2018, close to the end, there was backed futures. They're like, yeah, backed futures is coming. And then it turns out it's not going to be coming for like a year after that, basically. There was just nothing there. 2017 was filled with hype, and that's why we got to 20,000. And 2019 is filled with a bit more hype this year, with the halvenings coming up in a year for both Bitcoin and Litecoin. Litecoin in just a few months, and then Bitcoin in a year from now, and the institutions, Fidelity, E-Trade, and things like that. Lots of new things being picked up, and so there's actual things to be bullish about in 2019. In 2018, it was a literal year of waiting week after week after week for some kind of good news that just simply never came. But that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, helps me out a lot. My social media in the description below. But that's all I have for you. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and as usual, I will see you guys next time.